So I know many of you have been wondering what's going on with this car. You haven't heard about it in a few months. It's been a little while since we worked on it. Lots of comments on the channel, people reaching out to me directly to ask me about it. Well, it's been the off season. I've been able to kind of delay working on this and prioritize some other things, but it's time to get ready. First race is next month, and we got a long punch list. So the car got parked because if you remember from the last video, it had a power steering leak. I've drained that system 4 or 5 times. I've changed O-rings, I've changed fittings at the rack. I finally fixed the leak on the high pressure side the very last time, but I had also changed the low pressure side O-ring as a preventative thing, and now that side's leaking, so we got to fix that. The transmission's out of the car because on the last test drive I did, the clutch started slipping. Well, the clutch fork on the manual cable operated setup had come partly off the ball. Transmission was also leaking after a fresh rebuild, another preventative maintenance item that cost me a little bit. So we're changing out the silicone on the inspection cover right now. Then it's going to be time to install that transmission. We're switching over to a hydraulic clutch. So I've got a Titlton throwout bearing that they make, the internal throwout bearing like a modern car, and then that's going to be mated up with some new Wilwood pedals, Wilwood master cylinder, and we'll probably, not today and on this video, but get around to changing the master cylinders on the brake side over to a newer Wilwood design as well. So yeah, that's kind of what's been going on. That's some of the major items. Before the first race, we've also got to change out the fuel cell, we got to change out the seat belts to new date belts, and we got to change out the fire system. Throwout bearing. It looks like first step's going to be putting the bell housing on the engine so we can get a height from the transmission to bell housing mounting surface to the clutch diaphragm fingers. It's looking like you need an 1/8 inch, 0.125 inch clearance between the clutch finger and the fully installed release bearing. So that's what we're about to do now. And then we'll have to replace one of the front plate cover bolts with this, which locks the release bearing from spinning. We've made progress today, boys and girls. We've made progress. There used to be a stack of parts under this car. I had the transmission sitting up there under the front of the motor, drive shaft on the ground, cross member on the ground, another jack stand holding the torque arm, header on the ground, bolts everywhere. Well, not no more, because the transmission is back in the car. The drive shaft is hooked up, the torque arm. Look at that. Look at that beautiful gray. That little drip there is not the transmission leaking. It is when I took out the little seal block thing. But now it's time to get the clutch hydraulic set up. So, as I mentioned, we were switching over from cable clutch to hydraulic clutch with a beautiful Wilwood master, which I got right here. This will bolt right on to our existing pedal assembly, but we're also upgrading to the forged Wilwood pedals. So this is what the forged pedal looks like. You can see the reinforcement there. I mean, they call it forged, but it still looks cast to me. But there's the, turn the light on, there's existing pedal. It's just a, you know, not even a true I-beam. So these pedals are supposed to be stronger. So we're gonna get the pedal swapped out, get that master test fit up. I either forgot to order the brake hose, or I don't know what, don't have a brake hose to go between the throwout bearing hose and the master itself. So I get that sorted out. Still got to fix the power steering leak. There's still plenty to do before the car can try and drive again on its own. It is almost Katie's bedtime, but I'm going to try and squeeze in a little bit of time here on the Mustang. Looking at the calendar, first race season is basically here and the car's not ready, so I really got to get to work. And I got a little motivation here that we got some parts in today. So you folks will see in earlier segments that we are putting a hydraulic clutch in here. And somebody on Instagram said, yeah, I stay on a cable clutch because if I'm doing a clutch change at the track, I don't have time to bleed the whole clutch again. And I thought, hey, thank you for the reminder, because I had forgotten early on when I started planning out this swap a few months ago. I had in the back of my mind, like, hey, I wonder if there's like a GM quick disconnect equivalent for aftermarket clutch hydraulic systems, because the Camaro here has a GM factory style master cylinder and quick disconnects hose. And so when I did have to pull the transmission out multiple times, was that 2019, had to pull it again. Well, guess what? I didn't have to re-bleed the clutch. It was super quick and easy, doesn't make a mess. So Speedway had one of the more compact, user-friendly looking quick disconnect versions I saw. So I ordered this from them. I think it was, I can't remember now, $30 or $50 for this piece. Some lines. So I'm going to use two different lines. On the firewall side is one, and on the driver's compartment is another. So I am waiting still for the bulkhead connector to go through the firewall. I unfortunately don't have that yet. I'm hoping that shows up before this weekend, because I'd love to get the car back on the ground and try driving it before then. You'll have to forgive the barking dog in the background, but working on the clutch hydraulics. So I'm trying to reuse the hole that was already there from the cable driven clutch. I hate drilling new holes in sheet metal, even though this thing is a beat up race car, because then I'd have to try and seal that hole another way. So anyways, I got an AN90 to go into here. I did a bad job measuring this cable, and it is way too long. Unfortunately, I don't have a fancy Kevlar one to replace it, but we got this one that I think is 8 inches shorter. And then the bleeder is way down by the transmission. I wanted to be able to have it up here so that you could bleed it from leaning into the hood. So we got a union to hook into the hydraulic throwout bearing and a 1-foot extension. Hopefully I didn't get that too far off. Otherwise we're going to use the 30-inch one, and it'll be very long. So let's get it installed. I suppose if it's not on video, it didn't really happen, right? Well, I guess I can use the quick disconnect and make this a little easier. New fitting size. Is anybody else's favorite thing about AN fittings how every fitting is like a different size wrench? Yes, Katie.
I love you.
I love you too, sweetie. That's sweet of you.
What?
Are you a monster?
Yeah.
You're a monster?
Yeah.
Did you come to get Dada?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Go on.
Go run? What if I hide?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go hide right under this Tahoe. Because there's a quick disconnect line to be hooked up. Alright. Well, it's enough slack to get it on. And then I'll probably put a clamp on there and zip tie it maybe. What are you screaming about, sweetie?
I'm Daddy, yeah, a monster.
You're a monster?
Yeah.
Rawr. Give me a good growl. Give me a growl. Oh yeah, that was a good one. I love that kid. Alright, I need something to keep the clutch lines away from the header. So we're just going to use a piece of little 16th inch aluminum here. I'm going to cut out a little bracket that will bolt to the transmission bell housing and just have a little piece off of it that you can run a zip tie through, and that'll just keep the lines off. Bracket is in there. You can kind of see it up there, but I learned from the Camaro, you got to keep these lines away from the headers if you want your clutch to work after a 20-minute road course session. So that should be enough air gap, a couple inches, to keep the clutch happy. We got one of the other parts I was missing, the clevis here for the clutch master. So we now have everything we need to put the hydraulics together for the clutch. I just finished the firewall side to engine side earlier. Now we're gonna hopefully crawl under the dash for the last time for a little while in this car, at least until we change out the brake masters. But yeah, I'm super excited. I just installed the master here and didn't get any of it on video because I thought I'd hit the camera button, but I didn't. So we got the line on, we got this on, the master's bolted in. We still have to install the remote hose. I don't know. There we go. So you can see right now the remote hose is not on yet. So that's next. Well, hindsight's 20/20, but folks, I should have put the remote hose fitting on before bolting in the clutch master. This would make this part a little easier. And by little, I really mean a lot. I think I'm reaching my quota on being bent over this cart for the day. All right, it's time to find out if we have any leaks. So you'll notice we're using the lovely 600 plus from Wilwood. Nothing but the best for this horrible car. I'm pretty sure that the clutch master did not come with an O-ring here. That one did. I just robbed it from one of the brake masters. You can see the other brake master here does have an O-ring there. And now that I got brake fluid leaking all over my car, Yeah, this was the package that came in. Now I got brake fluid leaking all over the car. I'm remembering that I don't think there was a O-ring on this one. So we got the stolen one. Let's get this apart and make a mess. Whew. We have a clutch pedal, boys and girls. I'm holding it to the floor right now. We've just checked it. I think the last 3 or 4 times we cracked the bleeder open, no air, but it took quite a bit of air, and we ended up using probably over half a quart we wasted. But yeah, that feels like a clutch. Whew. No other leaks. Once we figured out I had a missing O-ring from the master. I'm glad I got the 1-foot extension for the bleeder, so it was in a lot more convenient spot than above the bell housing. Bolt up the exhaust, and then I gotta find out where my wheels and tires are. Alright, here's the new power steering fitting. This one's made of aluminum instead of brass. But if you go by from the threads to the mounting surface area, it is longer slightly than the brass one, but the diameter of the hole here is slightly smaller, and it actually takes a slightly smaller O-ring. So fingers crossed this seals and we don't fight power steering anymore. Alright, well, at least this should stop leaking all over my floor. Alright, we are unboxing. Can you guess what these are? 4 big boxes, like 18, 19 inches in diameter. The new Mustang wheels. We're far enough along. We are robbing the old wheels off the Camaro, and we are mounting them on the Mustang. We got a fresh set of beautiful Falcon 660s for the Camaro, so the Mustang gets to inherit the hand-me-down 660s from Camaro Big Brother. And as you can see, I've had these boxes in the garage for a while, but I haven't actually opened them. Probably silly in case there was anything wrong with these things, but there they are. Check that out. And all the lightweight sexiness. Look at this thing. These wheels right here, 17 pounds. 3-piece, forged, 18 by 11s. So you can get these in any backspace or, you know, style that you want. And only 17 pounds for an 18 by 11 fully forged wheel. So thank you, Jongbloed, for making these gorgeous bad boys. Let's unbox the rest. What do you think the next box is gonna have in it, baby?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Wheels? That's a pretty good guess. I think you might be right.
Okay, Dad. I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me see.
Let me pull it out.
You gotta squeeze that. It makes it easier. Oh, look. Okay, pull it out. Okay, we don't need a lot. Shouldn't be more than 6 inches. Okay, we gotta put it down there. Well, it's 5 15/16. So close enough.
Close enough.
Close enough. Well, we'll just make sure they're all 6 inches. You gonna hang on to that for me?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's off to the tire shop.
We almost hit a wall.
It's almost as big as you are, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
See, I can do it myself.
Yeah. Good thing you're probably not getting your dress dirty.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna put these on the back of the red car
Yeah.
for burnouts. All right, picked up the new wheels. We got the hand-me-down tires from the Camaro. There they are. Jongbloed X10s. 17 pounds a wheel. And putting them on the car. Looking pretty good. Now we got to figure out how to get them on that side of the car, which is going to be fun. And then we get to see if the car starts. It's a question mark with this thing. I'm noticing a difference in the width. Here we go, boys and girls. Transmission's back in, hydraulic clutch is installed, new wheels and tires, new fitting on the power steering. Let's see what works and what doesn't. See if I even remember how to start this thing. Okay. Huh. Well. It's running. Clutch works, at least on jack stands. Let's put the steering wheel in, see if we can bleed the air out of the steering system. All right. Whew. Well, it's stinky. Let's go see what leaks. Alright, we're running out of daylight, so let's get this done. First test drive with the new clutch, new hydraulic clutch, power steering fitting. So we're checking to make sure the clutch works, the transmission isn't going to leak all over the place, the power steering isn't going to leak all over the place. I guess the wheels don't fall off since we got new wheels too. get back with you guys in a few minutes if I make it home or not. Success on that very quick around the block run. Nothing crazy stood out with the car. It has not marked its territory yet. It does not appear to be leaking. The power steering worked, the clutch worked. It runs rougher than you know what. So somebody needs to tell me what that is. That'd be very nice. Yeah, so success. Maybe we'll actually use this car this year. Hope you guys liked the video. Please subscribe if you haven't. Like, comment, especially if you know why my 408 Windsor misses. Otherwise, that's a wrap. What? You're still here? I just want you to know the car has been sitting for 20 minutes and there's nothing on the ground. No drops, nothing. Yeah!